Hello people of Earth and other YouTube watchers, my name is Kristen and today I'm going to be doing my first book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing White Cat by Holly Black. So the world this takes place in is Earth, only there are these people called workers. Workers can do specialized magic depending on their kind, and they do it with their hands, so just about everybody wears gloves, especially if you're a worker. In order to do a magic, you have to touch somebody, and then sometimes you can change their memories, you can transform them into different things, you can kill them depending on what your work takes place of. Workers used to be beloved and loved and cherished, but then they started to fall out of fashion and people don't really like them anymore. The main character, Castle, comes from a family of workers, but he himself is not a worker, and he's just about the only one in his entire family that they can remember. So basically, Castle goes to this boarding school, but one night he is having this dream, and he ends up on top of the building at school, just about ready to jump. What happened was he was following this white cat. So Castle gets kicked out of school because the school thinks that he's going to commit suicide or something, and they want him to get actual help. Castle's mother's in jail, so he goes and stays with his grandfather. However, when he's there and he's trying to talk to his older brothers, Baron and Philip, they're keeping secrets from him, and he's not sure what it is. This white cat also keeps showing up, both in his dreams and in his actual real life, and he doesn't know what it means. So, throughout the book, Castle has to try and figure out what his brothers are keeping from him, what the white cat means, and why it's coming up in his life so often, and overall try and not let things get too out of hand. So the main characters in this are Castle, his brothers Baron and Philip, his grandfather, his mother shows up occasionally because she's in jail, and his best friends Sam, who is his roommate at school, and Danica, who kind of becomes his friend over the course of the book. Additionally, he keeps getting these memories of this one girl named Lila, who he killed a couple years ago. He doesn't remember much about killing her, he just has this one memory of holding a knife over her bloodied body and grinning like a madman. It scares him. So my favorite things about this book were Sam and Danica because they were really funny characters who had a lot of fun together and kind of kept Castle in line because without them, Castle really wouldn't have had any friends and wouldn't have known how to socialize and actually be himself with people as opposed to being someone else with people. I also really liked that at school, Castle had this business where people would place bets and they'd give him money, and then whoever won the bet, and he transferred out money and stuff, because he's basically a con man. His entire family are con people. And when Castle gets kicked out of school, he hands over his specialized notebook over to Sam, and Sam starts running the business for him. The business is just silly things like which teachers are secretly making out and who's going to actually catch the mouse in the walls, etc., etc., etc. There were a couple things I didn't like about the book. First off, I didn't like Baron and Philip very much because even though they were somewhat different, they felt like they weren't very well developed as side characters, and they didn't have very many differences between the two of them. They both wanted control, they both kept secrets, they both listened to their elders unless they were like working people, and it was, I didn't like them, and I didn't like them individually, and I felt like Holly Black could have done a much better job with them. I wish that we'd gotten more of his grandfather, because his grandfather was really awesome at the end of the book, and you didn't really get to see that at all until the last couple chapters. If we could have gotten a little bit more of Castle's grandfather throughout the book and kind of seen a couple more hints of this awesome dude that you have, that could have been really neat. Okay, I didn't really like Castle's mom. She was in jail because she worked people and she conned them, and when they were finally letting her out, she just interferes with everyone's life and never stays on her own and refuses to listen, and I feel like this is maybe like a lot of other moms, but it would have been really cool if Castle had had a better mother figure. Zakharov, or whomever, is kind of the bad guy, but also not. He's trying to talk about him without giving away most of the story, which is really difficult. You get to know him more towards the end of it. He is Lila's father, back from when Castle killed Lila. And he's been searching for Lila, and then searching for Lila's killer, and trying to figure out what happened when she disappeared. And you get to know him a little bit better towards the end of the book, and he's really kind of neat. And he's exactly what you think of when you think of, like, mob guys kind of don't mess with him. That's what Zakharov is. And he's neat, but he loves his daughter so much. Like, he loved her so deeply that he's willing to listen occasionally, and then he just, like, snaps. And I feel like he was pretty well written. He really played the part he was supposed to. Overall, I I give this book 3 or 4 out of 5 stars. It was definitely one of my favorite Holly Black books in general, though there were things that could have been expanded on, and I definitely think some of the characters could have had better development. I did enjoy reading the story, and it kept me entertained. So I will leave links in the doobly-doo down to my Instagram and all those social media things. And until I see you next time, read, adore, and ship it more. Goodbye!